So I was called to program this vehicle. You can see the P is not showing. There should be a sign here which means it should show. So I was called to program this board, and the client have gotten a new board. But what I've done is, so this is the new board. So what I've done is coming to scan it to see the fault on it before I do anything. Sorry, yesterday I scanned it and I got to know that there is no communication with the gearbox. That's why this selector is not showing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to scan it, use my wiring diagram to identify the problem and see. So let me use my, so I'm now connecting to the control unit. So that is the VIN number. So what I'll do is I'll allow it to communicate with the system, then I'll see. So yesterday I downloaded the file, the wiring diagram related to that fault. Sorry, I said related to that fault. Related to the, so now I don't know why it's not communicating, because I'm able to communicate with the PCM. I'm able to communicate with the PCM. So let me go to my downloads. Let me see if I'll be able to do it here. So this is the F150, and also let me open the information basis, which means the CAN communication line, so that I'll see if the, so this is the OEM, so this is the aftermarket diagram. So I'll use the aftermarket diagram to identify the issue. So let me see. Yeah, the transmission is open, and with this transmission, the transmission is having two fuses, and let me see, it's having two fuses. Let me see, the fuses are on the BCM. Oh, okay, let me see where these fuses goes to. Oh, sorry, it goes to the gateway. So this is the information, rather. Sorry, let me open the transmission, and this is the transmission. Yeah, this is the transmission. So you can see the transmission has a relay. The transmission has a relay, and the relay has to turn on these fuses, this fuse, and this fuse has to turn on. So I have to check, I have to find the relay. The reason why I like the aftermarket diagram is sometimes the aftermarket diagram gives you the component location. So let's say this junction box right side of engine compartment, that means it's at the passenger side. So I have to check if I'll be getting power on this relay, fuse 96 and fuse 83. Then fuse 13 to have to check if it has enough power. Then there is ground from, there is the ground from the engine. So I think when you open the ignition, hot at run or relay energized. So when you open the ignition, this relay energized to turn on this fuse. To turn on this fuse rather. And let me see, this fuse goes to what component? 4 on the next page. Let me see, 4 on the next page. 4 on the next page goes to this unit, this junction. And what junction? That is the transmission, right of the transmission case. Oh, okay. And when it goes to this unit, I think the 4 goes to this unit and moves to this side. So let me trace this where it goes to 2. So that means 2 on the next page. And where does the 2 goes to? Oh, okay, so the 2 power solenoid D. So that's not what I'm searching for. What I'm searching for is what is powering this ECU. This is the transmission control module. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check my power and ground. So this is my first power that goes to the transmission, and let me see, yeah, VIN power, and let me see the battery. This is battery voltage. Let me trace this way and see where it goes to. Okay, so it goes to these fuses, this fuse. So I have to check fuse 83, that's 15 amps, and also I have to check fuse 16 for power. So that's what I'll do for now, and I have to check the relay. So with the relay energize some of the solenoids. So now I have to check those two fuses. Those are the important fuses for this vehicle. Then from there, if I checked and the fuse is okay and I go under the vehicle to check for power and everything is okay, then I'll check my can high and can low. Then if they are all okay and there is no communication going on, then I'll condemn the transmission control module. So for now, let's go and do our testing to verify. So I'm going to test the fuses before I go to the pin out, which is pin 31 and pin 48. So let me go and check my fuses first. Okay, so now let me check the fault code. So let me go to, I'm using this to do the diagnosis, and you can see lost communication with transmission. Also, let me see another U code, invalid data. Let me see if I'll find another U code, lost communication with transmission, lost communication with transmission. So all the U codes are lost communication with the transmission. So let me fix that one first, then we'll talk about the rest. So now the best thing I can do is to fix those lost communication with the transmission to allow the car to start from the push to start. Then we can know what to do. So let's go and test the fuses. So with this shop today, I brought my power maintainer so that I can maintain the battery, because yesterday when I came to check, the battery was low. So now what I'll do is, this is the location of the fuse box, and I'm at the right side of the fuse box. So I'm going to check the fuses and check the 15 amp fuses here and see which one is causing the problem, if I'll find any fuse causing the problem. So for now, let me test. My test light turns on and the ignition is on. So let me start from somewhere. So any fuse that I see blown, I will replace. So I'm checking all the fuses. Let me test them. Let me test all of them and see, and can I get back to you guys. So I've tested all the fuses and they are okay. So now the next thing is I have to go to the transmission control board. Let me find for the location of the transmission control board. Then I'll test the fuses on that side also. So this tells me that it's under right side of the vehicle. So I'll go and check the under right side of the vehicle and see if I'll find the transmission control board. So with this one, we can locate fuse 83 here and fuse 16 here. So I'll check those fuses. Those are the fuses on the diagram, so I'll check them. So these are the fuses that I have to check. So you can see from this side is 82, 83. 83 is working. That's 15 amp fuse. And let me check. So this one will be 13, 14, 15, 16. So let me check. 16 is also working. So that means the fuses are okay. So I have to check the control board, as I said. So after another deep research, I'm able to see the location of the transmission. So I'm going to check if it is really there. Then from there, I know what to do. As it was saying in the aftermarket wiring diagram, that right under vehicle. So I'll go and check that one. If that's the transmission board, then I'll check my power and ground and my signal lines. If everything is coming, then I'll say they have to buy a new control board for the transmission. Then we'll continue from there. So for my diagnosis or for my finding, I found out that the TCM is here. So you have to remove 1, 2, 3. But so this is the location of the TCM. So I'll disconnect it and test for my power ground, can high and can low. If all of them are present, then that means I'll tell the client to replace the TCM. So let me do that. Let me disconnect it and do that too. So there is the location of the TCM. So this is the socket, and let me see. So there should be power here. For my diagram, I should have power here. So let me test it. If I have two powers that way going onto the, so if you can see my test light is on, that tells me that the power is there. And also I have to get power here. So you can see I'm getting power on this one. So the two fuses, I'm getting power on them. So now the only thing left is I have to test my ground and my can line. If I test my ground and my can line and everything is okay, I'll tell the client to get a new transmission board. So that's where the ground is. So if you can see, my test light is on. So that means I'm getting ground. So then last thing left is the can high and can low. If I test that one and it's good, then that means I call a control unit. So you can see the control unit over there. My first can line. And when you check it, that's can high. So let me move it to the next one. So I have to get 4 can lines. So this is the next one, that's can low. And let me move to the other one. So this is another can line. And you can see it. So let me move to the third one. And there's another can high, can low. So I have to get 4 can lines on it. And the rest, I've moved to the third pin and there is no can line. So this tells me that the control unit is gone. So they have to get the transmission control unit. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. So I have my power and my ground and everything. So this is the used one. I'm coming to fix it. And this is the original one from the vehicle. So I'm coming to fix the used one. There's instruction on it that when it drops, don't use it. So I'll fix this one and see if I'll have communication with the TCM. So now that I've connected it, I'll fix the battery and scan it and see if I'll be able to communicate with the TCM. Before I even scan it, you can now see that now the orange sign is showing on the P. So that means my diagnosis was right. So that means it was from the TCM, and that's the TCM that I've replaced. So I'm coming to scan it and see that now I'll get that issue with cannot communicate to the TCM again. So you can see it, but this TCM needs to be programmed. Coming to check if it will. So you can see the reverse is working and it's showing the reverse camera. So let me move to the next one and you can see neutral, D, then manual. So everything is working. So now it's at parking and the car will start, but I'm not starting it now. I have to diagnose. So diagnose and see the fault code in the TCM. That's what is going to guide me through if there is any issue with the transmission before I end up blowing. So this is 3.0 diesel. So this is some of the things that I always say service information is the best, because when you understand the fault code and you get to know the service information, then now you'll be able to identify the problem and fix it. Because some of these cars have the transmission also in the PCM. So if you don't take care, you might end up changing the PCM, which might not be the problem. Which might be a different problem. So with this one, let me scan and let me see if I'll be able to scan the TCM. That's the most important thing. So if I'm able to scan the TCM, although it's showing parking on the cluster, all I have to do is I have to scan the TCM to make sure there is no fault. So now you can see I'm able to communicate with the TCM now. But at first I was not able to communicate with the TCM. So what I'll do now is I have to erase all the fault code then do with my calibration. So before I do that, let me save the fault code in case of anything. So you can see configuration error, vehicle option reconfigured. So I have to do the reconfiguration of the vehicle. So if you can see TCM, you can see the error I'm getting. So reconfiguration error. So let me go back, erase all the fault code. So that means it doesn't match this vehicle, although it can start the vehicle now. Let me do the reconfiguration by getting the original VIN number and data onto the TCM, which I'm going to use my laptop to do that. I'm going to use the Foxconn to do that. So all those lost communication issue in the PCM has to go off now. So let me see the number of fault code, and you can see now the PCM I'm having 0 fault code. So I'll go to service and try 1 or 2 functions. So now I don't have any fault code in there. Let me recycle the ignition and see if I'll find any fault code. So you can see now the P is showing, which gives me another heads up. So I'm having this issue in the PCM, which is manifold absolute pressure sensor. This is another fault code for another time. So I'm now done with this. Yeah, so let me check the configuration, let me verify, then do the configuration calibration so that the TCM will be able to identify it. Before I do anything like that, I think I have to start the vehicle. Yeah, configuration error, reconfigure the ECU. You can't do that here with Ford. So there is one option. So let me go back to service, and there is a powertrain service information that I have to do. Let me do that and see if it will work. Transmission, readapt, clear transmission valve, transmission. So let me go service, real learn vehicle data. Let me try that one and see. So you can see that's the same fault code in the TCU. So let me turn off the ignition. Okay. So let me go back and do auto scan again and make sure. So before I start it, I have to make sure everything, you can see I'm having the spinner on it, so I have to make sure most of the fault code is gone. And now I'll try to start it from the push to start and see if it will respond. So now let me go clear. It should have clear. If not, then there's no waste here. So I'm going to rewrite the configuration. I'll write the as-built data of this transmission onto the So I have this problem still, and let me see. Yeah, so let me use my laptop and do the reconfiguration issue. So you can see reconfiguration and the same. So if it was to be in the ECU, then by now it would have gone. So let me do that. Oh, let me check the VIN number in it, because it's a used ECU. Let me see if I'll find any VIN number. No. So let me do the programming, and I think I'll call it a fix. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. So moment of truth, let me start the vehicle. You can see it's running. So this tells me that my vehicle is running now. So I have to turn it off and do the programming and the calibration for the transmission to work. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. Oh, sorry. So now that I've started the vehicle, let me try and scan it and see if I'll find any fault. So I think the fault code I'm still seeing is the configuration. So I'm going to use the other one to do it. So what I'll do now is I'm waiting for it to finish scanning, then I'll do the so now I'll do the transmission calibration. That's my main focus. Where is the TCM? Yeah, that's it. So let me go to special function. Let me write the as-built data into it. Yeah, let me write the as-built data into it then. So let me see. Clear, adapted, PCM, reset all data. No, let me go to this side. Yes, so I think this will be the interesting one. Transmission characteristics update. I don't have that. So you can see module initialization. So I'm going to do the module initialization and relearn so that the transmission. Yes, so you can see it's telling me when you are having this P160A, that's what you have to do. So let me do the module initialization. So I'm waiting for it to finish. So the moment it is done within the 5 seconds, I'll wait for the system to do that. So checking synchronization with it. So turn off ignition. Let me go to okay. Then when it requests me to turn it on, then I turn it on. So I'll wait for it to request for the turn on, then I'll do that. So after the initialization, then that means I'm done with the diagnosis and the program. So because they called me to do the PCM and I checked and it's not, I don't need to replace the PCM. So now what I'm doing is changing the transmission and doing all this work to help them fix the issue, and it comes with a different cost from the programming that they asked me or the programming that I'm doing now. So now it is done, and let me go back to my fault code. If I erase all the fault code, this fault code should go. For now, let me do the erase and go. So if the fault code is present, it will appear again. Yeah, turn it off and turn it back on. And let me check everything is on, and now there is no fault code in the transmission. So you can see now the transmission doesn't have any fault code. So the next thing I'll do is I have to reset all adaptation. Yes, I have to reset all adaptation. And so because the transmission is different, I have to reset all the adaptation so that it learns the new adaptation from this transmission that is connected to. So I have to allow it to learn the new adaptation values that it is connected to. Yeah, so I think the process is done. So let me turn off and on. You can see when I start the vehicle was running. Because there is no oil, I'm not going to start it again. So what I'll do now is I'll rescan it, or let me click on the erase and rescan it after all I've done. So I call this a fix. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos.